Hello and welcome to a new series on the Skyline. What we're going to be doing, we're going to be chasing power. And the first thing we need to do before we go for power is make sure the car has the maximum amount of grip and handles really well. So that's what we're going to do today. Unfortunately, before I did all the body work, I actually hit a curb on this wheel, and as you can see, one side is got more gap than the other side, and as you can see on this side, it's perfectly in the arch, and this is because we reckon the hub is bent. Not only that, the wheel is actually further in the arch than the other side, so what we're going to do is we're going to try and sort that out today. And we got to this conclusion by taking it down to RB Motorsport and having them look all over the car. We couldn't find any damage at all on the subframe or lower arm, but what we can see on their alignment machine is that the rear wheel is pushed back by 34 degrees. So let's go. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to Oak Hill Garage and see Jamie. He has an R34. He already knows a lot about crash damage because it's a drift car, and we're going to get him to have a look and replace it. So this is Jamie's car, all set up for drifting. Just warming it up while I get my car into the garage as well. What, that it's bent?
Yeah. It looks fine. You know what? But
it's that bit there.
If you look on the bottom of mine, you see how close they are.
Yeah, it's not. It's that. It's definitely. That's not the same as that. So.
No.
So that's
unless you bent that side somehow with the impact, which is very unlikely, to be fair.
No. Well, this is the side that hit the curb, so it's got to be this side that's wrong.
Like a clean mark where it's moved back to forward. But you can't see anything, even on the nuts.
I mean, if you weren't able to see that, it looks like it's pretty perfect. That's the problem. You can't really see much that's changed. It's only when you put the wheel on and you realise it's an inch into the arch and you've got no adjustment that you know that something's wrong. So we reckon it's a bent hub because if you have a look here, you've got a lot of space between the suspension and this arm here, and then when you come around to this side where it wasn't, obviously it's touching so much that it's actually putting a hole in the suspension. So this is part of the hub that's bent. The whole car, the whole wheel is like that. You can also see here that you can put one finger here, and obviously the wheel's not there, but you can actually put two fingers there on that bit as well. So on two fingers there as well. So it definitely is the hub. It might be something else as well, but the only way to tell is to change it. So here are the spare hubs. We're only probably going to use one of them today. Obviously on this side here, Jamie's taking the wheel off now. First thing we're going to do is remove the bent hub, put this hub on, and see how the wheel sits with that on. So we've also bought fully adjustable lower arms to go on. So obviously we can have full alignment, full adjustment on the rear, but also just in case one of the lower arms are done, we have a replacement. But we have also got straight original lower arms here as well that we're going to put on now to test it and see if it is just the hub. So we're going to test it with these, and then once we can see what's going on, we'll put the adjustable lower arms on. So first thing to do is to take off the caliper, leave it hanging there for a bit before you take the hub off, and the next thing is to take this disc off. Skyline for braking, you've got a caliper, and then for handbrake you've got a drum brake inside, so you've got 2 brakes in the rear.
So don't stop, get it until you know that I heard through the grapevine. Not much longer would you be mine. I heard through the grapevine.
So there's a lot of banging that's finally off, and that's what it looks like. So this is actually your shoe brake for the handbrake, and here is where you can adjust it. A lot of people adjust it on the lever, but this is where you should adjust it. Well, that's what Jamie said to me anyway. So we'll be adjusting them as well today. We've taken off this arm because it was seized, and we're just going to put anti-corrosion on the thread now. And that's it there, all done.
Lately I've been feeling like a renegade, somebody save me. Standing in the midst of the crowd, but nobody sees me. Shouting at the top of my lungs, but nobody hears me. All in the name of love, look what you made me. I've been praying for the rain to fall, wash me down so I'll be born. Open heavens, let it pour. You can love me again, again, again. You better love me again. You better love me again. You better love me again. Smoke, now what I imagined. I've been down this road.
So this is the old hub next to the new hub, and they look identical. Now we won't show you how we put it back together because it's exactly the same process. This is the finished result.
So we just placed the wheel on to check and see if we've got the correct amount of space on either side, and it doesn't look, it still looks sort of similar to before.
Don't forget the wheels down at the moment.
Yeah, that's true. So the wheel's down, so we have to see what it's like when it sits on the floor. But it is better, but is it better? Only time will tell.
Luckily, when we put that wheel down on the floor, it was absolutely spot on.
So we're back here in the morning, and to be honest with you, I'm really glad this morning that we haven't actually put the lower arms on, because that would make it too, there'd be too many variables with these on, because with this on, because I've got all the 4-arm kit on the rear, I'm able to actually move the wheel in and out, and now that we've got a fixed lower arm, I can actually make sure that this is in its position, and it does look so much better. It's not pushed back, it's exactly centered in the arch, so it does look like it was either the hub or the lower arm, which we replaced both, and it wasn't the subframe or chassis or anything really bad with the damage. But hopefully this will mean that the car would drive a lot better. What we did do last night is we actually got all of the lengths equal on this side to that side, so they're exactly the same, so that when we do come for alignment, they're pretty much exactly the same for it to be adjusted.